Morning, everybody. It is October 14th, and we got our first real snow dumping. Got a good 6 inches overnight. Highs are in the 20s. Feels like the teens because it's windy. And the little home's doing great. I got a few comments about kind of going too fast, and I would love to say that I'm a videographer, but I'm really not. I just want to share this journey. So I'll talk a little bit, and I will show you this space and kind of go. I'll show you while I talk and give you some updates. But it's 55 degrees in here. It got down to 45 last night with no heat on overnight, and it was like 18 outside. 45 is great for me. I spent all last winter in the van when it was down in the teens with no heat in the van, and so this is nothing. I love it. But this is our heater. That little guy right there, here's my hand in comparison. See how small that thing is? And that thing keeps this place toasty. It takes a little while because it's running on low. It's hooked up to the farm we're staying at. That's the only thing we have using with the farm. But it's like 600 or it's like 6 amps is all it's pulling because it's on low, and does a great job. So got home last night, and the storm had come in, and it was blowing hard, really blowing, really cold wind, and noticed that I walked underneath this vent here. The vent's gone. I have to paint it so it looks nice, but this is a vent that opens, and cold air was just flooding through the top. And it was shut, and what I realized was, and somebody mentioned this to me on a comment, and I had in the back of my mind that this may be an issue, but the way with me leaving the plywood up and then putting the insulation against the plywood, the way they build these is there's an airflow, there's a gap underneath the bottom that goes all the way to the top and across the top of the roof. And so theoretically, and actually not theoretically, that's the wrong thing to say. So when it's really hot, heat rises up the walls, comes across the top, and then I didn't seal this up here from the insulation. I just didn't get around to it. And what I noticed in the summer was you could feel the heat coming around the edge of the insulation, and if you open that vent, the heat just goes straight out. And so the heat isn't getting trapped in the walls. The heat is actually, it's called a cold wall. Some people call it a cold wall. The heat is going up, and it's escaping, and it's not getting trapped in your walls. And so maybe that's why even when it was over 100 degrees, it was pretty cool in here. That's awesome. What happens when it's 15 degrees and you have your heat on? Well, all that heat goes out your hole and then goes boop left and right into your cold ceiling. And I kind of knew this was coming. It didn't shock me, but we hadn't had super cold weather yet. So I come in and it's really windy, so the wind is getting blown up through the walls, and it's just like there's a fan blowing. So I put this that's 2-inch foam there. Put the 2-inch foam in and got it sealed in there, and I'm going to paint this. I don't know if today it's too cold, maybe too cold. I'm going to paint this to match, so for the winter this will be sealed off. But then when it's warm, there's the kitchen, but then when it's warm, it'll still be a cold roof so that air is allowed to flow. And Grace had mentioned about the mouse problem we had. Well, since there is that gap behind the drywall, or behind the plywood, there was one little spot where a mouse could climb right up through, and it was right here. And so I figured it out, and I plugged it. But right there, that little corner, you could squeeze right up into that crack. And so I used the great stuff and the insect kind, like something to repel insects and bugs. And I sprayed it through there. I knew it worked because I sprayed it from the bottom and it squished out. I sprayed it from underneath the trailer and it squished out here. And so I'm like, all right, there's my spot. And so I got it all sealed up tight to take care of that issue. And so that's pretty cool. And the other thing that was kind of interesting is last night I was doing dishes and I walked by this window and I forgot I didn't seal it. I just forgot. And I put my hand over here and cold air was coming out along these edges because I hadn't sealed this off yet. Again, because there is a false wall back there. There's a cold wall, cold air could have got, so I sealed it all up. At like 10 o'clock last night I was sealing the place up. And so it was kind of funny. Kind of dark back here, but there's that bathroom again. And jackets. Let's see. Let's look out that window and take a look at the beautiful. Snow makes everything so pretty. So I don't know if you can see dead center frame right there at the tip of my finger. I guess I can zoom in on it. That little guy in a plastic bag, or that little lump right in the center, that is meant for homes, and it's meant to extend the range of Wi-Fi. And I have that sitting out there on a pole, and it has a direct line of sight to the house since we're behind the barn. And so that is the range extender that we connect to, and it's right outside of our window. And so we get decent, okay, good enough to watch, Netflix on occasion, decent Wi-Fi right outside our window, even though we're quite a distance from the actual Wi-Fi thing. And it's just from Walmart. They're supposed to plug in the wall. It has two little fins. And it's meant for inside a house, but it works great. Every once in a while it disconnects and we have to like pull the plug, we have to like fiddle with it, but hey, it works good enough. Alright, so there's a little walkthrough. I hope you like me showing you what the place looks like a little bit. The floors are doing so much better than before in the van because there's no insulation. In the school bus I couldn't put insulation because I'm too tall, and so I actually have 4 inches of insulation in the floor, and the floors they're chilly, but man, did they feel 100 times better. The other thing I had to do yesterday, because it was 65 degrees yesterday, is these wheel wells here. They were not insulated because I didn't get around to it, and so I'm like, before winter I'll do it. So outside, there's room behind the wheels outside, so I didn't have to take up any internal space. So I insulated from the outside and glued them in, and then painted them black. And of course, I forgot to put gloves on, so I had black all over my hands, and I can't get it off because I used good outdoor enamel paint. But I couldn't get it off my damn hands, so it's kind of funny. Yeah. So that's the home. And I hope everyone got a good view this time and you could actually see what's going on. Here's the living closet, like we're living in it. There's socks drying because I did laundry yesterday outside since it was warm. I did laundry outside yesterday since I knew it was going to be cold and I needed to wash my work clothes and stuff. So I got everything done, and then it got cold, and so I brought the last couple things in. Like for whatever reason, Grace's socks didn't want to dry. I don't know. So had those. They're almost dry now, sitting out. So there's my home. There's the space. Grace is at a dance class right now, and I'm gonna make some. I think I'm gonna make some gluten-free cookies with all healthy stuff and coconut sugar and all that kind of good stuff. I haven't made them in a long time, and it's chilly in here, and so why not make some yummy cookies and heat the dang place up. So I think I'm going to do that next. Hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm just going to load this sucker up with very little editing since I don't think I messed anything up. And there's some more update videos to come, but I just felt like sharing and saying hi to everybody, and hope everyone's enjoying the day and kind of excited because we got this snow, and it feels really cool to be in a winter wonderland. Bye.